Thank you, Nachum, for your presentation. For our discussion, I'm happy to have also Michal Geva with us. Michal is the managing partner and co-founder of Tree Ventures. Michal has 25 years of executive management experience in medtech and in digital health startups in Israel and in the US. And she's the first woman to found and manage a venture capital fund in Israel. And also in 2017, Michal was recognized as one of the 50 most influential women in Israel by Globes, which is the Israeli leading financial journal. Michal, happy to have you here.
Thank you very much. I'm very glad to be here.
Michal, I would like to turn the first question to you. Although we have a lot of innovations in Israel and a variety of interesting opportunities, the number of VCs and investors is quite limited. Can you start by referring to the Israeli investment ecosystem from the eyes of the investors? What are the opportunities? What are the challenging? And also, maybe you can speak about companies that are seeking for investment.
Sure. So first of all, it is true, the landscape has changed in the healthcare environment. If I need to put it in categories, I think we have the biotech, we have the pharma, we have the medical devices, which ION is part of, and we have the digital health. We at Tree Ventures, we are focused more on digital health and medical devices. But interesting enough, it is interesting to see the development that have happened in the past decades in devices versus digital. A lot of the investors, unfortunately, gone out a little bit of the medical devices, and there is much less capital available, not only in Israel today, but in the world for devices. And we see a huge dramatic change and a dramatic entrance into the digital health space. By the way, which ophthalmology is also playing a major role in that sector. But Zana, there's never a vacuum. So yes, we still have several different medical device VCs that are investing here in Israel. But one of the interesting things that we've seen is the entrance of the corporate VCs. I don't know if you know, but we at Tree Ventures, we're great believers in working with the companies on one hand and with the industry on the other hand. So we have about 12, 13 different strategic VCs on our fund, from Johnson & Johnson, Medtronic, all the way to Samsung and Nikon and everything in between. And we're very, very fortunate to have that. But on the other hand, we see those type of organizations entering much more forcefully today, not only into funds, but actually into investing directly in companies. We've seen it with Nachum's last round, which was we had a large strategic participate. We see it more and more often. We've seen it with several other ophthalmology companies that we're investing in. We see very often nowadays.
Thank you. Maybe that's the time, Nachum, to say congratulations on your very successful round that was done in a difficult time worldwide. Can you refer to that a bit? Tree Venture took part of that, and Michal mentioned a strategic. I guess it wasn't easy. Can you talk about some of the challenges and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, so first of all, to raise funds is never easy, and it was even more challenging during the COVID pandemic. Actually, that's a result of a long-lasting relationship with some of the investors that I met, back then, even 5-6 years ago, and it was not ready to invest back then, but the long relationship became fruitful eventually. So I think that's helped. On the other hand, actually, everybody had time to meet and to speak and to learn more and to dig more. So that made the whole due diligence process even harder. And I needed to take into account the time difference and that's something which is in a way unique to Israel because in the recent round we had investors from China, from Japan, from Canada, from Israel, of course, and Israel serves in a way as a bridge between those countries. So I needed to have like 3 time zones in my mind all the time. And I saw, the kids of my investors, they saw mine that came suddenly into the cause. But yes, it was challenging. But eventually, because iMedical reached to a very successful point with the clinical data with the Endwar that is a real game changer, that eventually led the reason for the successful round, and I'm really happy that it is actually oversubscribed. So yeah, I'm very proud of it, and it's just the start of a new era and a lot of other extensive work for the company and for the team.
Sounds like a big happy family. And I know that TreeVenture is escorting the company and invested not only in this round. And I wanted to ask both of you, how do you see the advantage of having an Israeli investor as part of the round?
So if I may start, I think that especially in that kind of round that done remotely with people that actually never been to the company, having a great partner like TreeVenture, which is not just an investor, if I may say, smart money, and really involved in the company day-to-day activity, that serves as an anchor, I believe, for the other investors that all of them wanted to speak with the existing investors that are on ground and can really know that I'm not only an avatar, but a real person, and there is a real company behind us with all the achievements we've got.
Yes, Susanna, I think.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I think what Nachum is describing is very, very accurate. We see it very often where external investors, meaning investors that are not based at the country where the company is, are interested to see buy-in, are interested to see mentorship, are interested to see close connection and work with the company. That is, on one hand, a validation, and on the other hand, a true support, I would say, to people that, today the world is kind of flat with Zoom, right? We're even doing this conference in Zoom, but we usually, like to work with people in a more intimate way. And I think being with the company, being with the team, not just the management, is important. And, when we invest in companies outside of Israel, I always would like to see a local partner, and it goes both ways. So I think that that is helpful. And on the other hand, Nachum has done a tremendous work on really building partnership, not just investors, but partnerships with different markets, different ecosystem players, from strategics to financial investors. They all bring a lot of value added, but in different sectors. For example, we have Rachel from Remonchi, which is an investor that specializes in ophthalmology. And the amount of value that she brings to the table with her team on the ground, working with Nachum and his teams on the regulatory, on opening doors in China, on the clinical work, is invaluable. We have investors from the US that are working on the board and off the board with Ion and the team. We have investors now from Japan. We have investors from Israel. And I think the way that Ion has built its infrastructure is extremely helpful for the growth of the company.
That's exciting. So guys, thank you so much. I wish you both a lot of luck, and thank you for sharing your opinions with us.
Thank
you
you.
for having me.
Thank you.